Folks, it's the Three Amigos, and we take on hot topics. We got a very important one today that I think actually goes up in importance as the days go by, and that is the fact that I believe that as of April 1st, this is not an April Fool's joke. You heard me talk about it before. The recession that we've all been talking about will officially start. It won't officially be backdated probably till January or February of 2024, but given the leading indicators, that ISM number yesterday, manufacturing was horrible. The JOLTS report today was horrible. I think the recession has started. I feel more convinced than ever but instead of talking about that, I want to flip the script with the Three Amigos and talk about A, what we can do to get prepared, and B, what are all of us and hopefully all of you doing? Because again, recessions are where wealth is built. Matt, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing super awesome, Mike. How you doing?
I'm doing well.
Good.
Dion, how are you?
Amazing. Ready to get out of Gary, Indiana. And I have survived this entire trip. I'm very happy. We actually get on a plane in a couple of hours. And
let's not tempt fate.
Right.
Oh, funny. Well, Matt, we'll go to you first. You and I lived through the .com nastiness, the Great Recession. We both felt that. I guess let me say one more thing, and then I want to go to what you're doing. I want everybody watching this to realize that I hope you, the viewer, I hope you lived through 5 recessions.
Yeah.
They're normal, right? A recession every 8 to 12 to 14 years is normal. So while this might be your first as an adult or maybe as an investor, realize that you're going to have more of these. They are not rare, right? They're darn near repeatable. So take these lessons learned, take the fear, internalize it, put it away, and then let's get to work. But Matt, what do you think? Recession started. Where do we go from here?
Yep. And yeah, it absolutely has. Now it's finally showing up in the numbers, right? Because it's like you and I have done this so many times that you kind of feel the sentiment, right?
Right.
Where it's kind of like you see things pulling back, you see places less busy. You're starting to see that because all those stimmy dollars aren't getting flooded in. Right. And people actually have to pay for their stuff. But yeah, I think the most important thing that I'm doing to prepare is bad tenants in a good economy don't get better with a recession.
Right.
Get
Good
out.
Point.
So we will have done in a 6-month period more evictions than I've done in the previous 20 years. And so consistently for the last 10 weeks, I've been in court a minimum of 1 day a week, if not 2 days a week. And it's all about getting tenants out. I'm tired of the excuses, tired of the noise. Time for you to go.
You were trying to be a decent human, so you stepped up for that ERAP program.
I did.
How many evictions would you be going through if you had not tried to be a decent human and help people out?
Two out of 10.
Wow.
8 of them were that program. Yeah. And it was, again, I appreciate you saying, Dion, tried to help people, wanted to give them the benefit of the doubt. We did some lease modifications to keep some folks, to help them. But yeah, realized that, government failed again, big surprise, film at 11. And from our perspective, it is, listen, you're not going to get better. Like you've proven that even with a subsidy of all of your rent being paid, all of your utilities and all of your heat, everything being paid, you've proven that you disqualify yourself from life. You have no interest in participating. So you got to go by the way. And so I spent all my time in court and doing that. And the average claim there, we're doing the math because I want to share that math, but the average claim there is about $6,000 that they owe us. And so we'll pursue that, but I'm interested to know over the 18 months, did I make enough money to cover that? Like kind of what the differences were. So I'm going to share one of those numbers to see, was it financially worth it? I know for the ones that we helped, thrilled we did. I know for the ones that we tried to help that decided to disqualify, it is what it is. They chose it. People made
funny.
It work, others didn't.
We have 3. The evictions are done already, but we have 3 large turns going on now. All 3 were people that we tried to help through this.
Yep.
And I mean, when you look at totality of just those 3 units, it wasn't worth it. But again, we helped dozens of people through it.
Correct.
So I think net it's a positive, and I wouldn't do it any other way. You don't know going in who's gonna.
Correct.
Right. There are people, I mean, these, like one of these individuals said, I never have to pay rent again because I haven't paid rent for 18 months. So why should I ever pay it again? I'm like, well, okay, if that's go ahead. Yeah, you want to bet? Let's find out how that works. And again, they were certain.
Yeah.
They thought that they never had to pay rent again. I was like,
people
wow.
People can be quite convicted wrongly.
Yeah. So yeah, I think you're right. I think one of the things you need to do is maybe a first-time landlord or someone in this is, if there's a bad tenant or questionable tenant, this is the time to get them out. Dion, what are you doing as you're getting ready for your first recession as an investor, I believe?
So as an investor, most people should do two things. The first, and these aren't things that I'm actually paying attention to, but these are the two things that an investor should do. And this should be common knowledge, even though what we know doesn't seem to be common knowledge. One, make yourself bankable. Lending criteria is going to tighten up as a recession happens. Everybody's like, oh, housing prices might come down, I could buy one. Yeah, but you can't qualify to buy it.
Yeah.
That's why they're down. And two, stack cash to be able to pounce on deals when they come up. So those are the two things that everybody that's an investor should be focusing on, and I wasn't. They're accidentally happening. I have stacked cash and I am bankable, so that's a good thing. But here's the things that I do that are in preparation of a recession, because I don't time the market. And the people that are making sure they're bankable and stacking cash for a recession are intelligently timing the market, because we know a recession's coming. I specifically diversify my properties by buying them at least 10 miles apart next to several economic drivers. So if there is a layoff, it isn't going to impact all of my portfolio at the same time. So Boeing can pull out of Washington State, I might lose a tenant. So diversifying my properties as I was growing the portfolio. Now that it's a bit bigger, I will buy properties right next to each other, but I wanted them spread out in the beginning as a form of diversification. The second, I specifically target Class C rentals. Because if my rents are $1,500 to $2,000 a month and somebody gets laid off, unemployment will cover the rent. It's very easy for a person making $20 an hour that gets laid off to go out and find a $20 an hour job. If you have a $150,000 IT person working, and renting your unit for $3,000 or $4,000 and they get laid off, they might not find a job that compensates them well enough to maintain that, and you're going to move. So in my tenants, even though they do get laid off during a recession, I have had tenants lose jobs in the last 10 years. Never miss a rent payment because their unemployment covers it and they can find a job. So that's the second thing. And the third thing is I diversify my tenant types. I try for that. And Matt, you're starting to do the Section 8 now. And yes, the ERAP program is not something I recommend to anybody who doesn't have at least 50 units.
Yes.
So I didn't do it because I only have 16. And if I did, I might have tried one. You were smart. You did, I think, 11 or 12 out of 100.
Yeah, we did 10%.
So 10%, right? So you do a small percentage. You don't throw all that because they can give you some extra money, and then all of a sudden you have 100 evictions you're going through. So I do 1/3 military, 1/3 working, retired, and 1/3 Section 8, so that even if there was a prolonged government shutdown, somebody's working. If there's a stock market crash, somebody's working. And so the investors now, as you're investing, you should be utilizing the strategy, planning on a recession, even though for the last 10 years, we have pretty much an uptrending market. And it doesn't hurt to also be bankable and have cash.
Right.
Yeah, one of the things I take from all of that, and you can go back and watch Matt and I really talk about this in some of our videos a year ago, was, we saw the first whispers of problems ahead. And, we spent a good 6 or 9 months refining all of our debt, or most of our debt, taking some cash out where appropriate, stacking cash. So again, one of the things, again, I want people watching this, again, hoping you all go through 5 recessions, is part of getting ready for a recession is getting ready for the recession.
Yeah.
And also that bankable thing is really important. How many people on YouTube talk about creating a business or LLC, writing everything off very aggressively, and at the end of the day, you owe no taxes? Well, congratulations. You're no longer bankable, right? Because you don't have this thing called income,
right,
which a bank wants to see. So again, that's one of the reasons I shared with you my estimated tax return is going to be about $80,000. It's because I want to be bankable. That $80,000 in tax money, I'm sure it doesn't feel good to write, but I will gladly write it so I can go get some more 30-year debt or get a commercial loan or something of that nature. But guys, we're in the recession. If I'm right, it's not time to get prepared. We are in it.
Yeah.
So Matt, when we look out over the next 9 months, what are you doing today? What do you plan to do tomorrow? Not necessarily tomorrow, but next month, next quarter. Where are you taking this thing? Because I know you're going to make some moves.
Yeah, I mean, I think that I'm going to get that famous call from the bank with the asset that they want me to take over. I think that's the first thing.
So you're networking, you're building you're building bridges.
Yep. And I much rather, instead of having 100 relationships, I much rather have 15 people that I can consistently keep up with as they're deemed the most important in the network. So it's those 15
I think that's
people.
yes.
I'm saying, it's not, oh yeah, I went to college with that guy 25. No. I might have sent them an email or a text or something like that, but I've got 15 people that are going to bring me that portfolio shaping deal. And those are the people that I'm staying in front of. And so that's a piece of it. I think the biggest piece is getting rid of the tenants that aren't if you couldn't make it when they were giving out stimmy dollars, and now you're done.
Yeah.
Stick a fork in you, you're done. Bye. And so those units, I'm turning them, but instead of investing in another property, we've invested a couple $100,000 in probably a dozen units or so, just making them that much. And so we've leveled up. And so we've gone from $1,100 rents to $2,000 rents.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'll be paying myself back over the next year and a half, 2 years, but we do it when the tenants left or been evicted. That way we're not disrupting somebody's life just to upgrade our unit to rent it for more, So that's kind of what we've already started doing. And so the money that we're spending now is really just about improvements and leveling up.
Yeah. So Dion, one of the things that the folks will probably know by now is you're doing a couple of very cool things. One is you're going to Portugal shortly, where you may be buying a spot for all of us to enjoy occasionally. And you're also actually in Gary, Indiana now, just helping another One Rental at a Time fan, Millennial Mike, check it out. But you're also poking around at potentially another market. So again, in this recession, you are looking at some exciting options.
Yeah, the Portugal thing is going to be interesting because I was thinking of going there and buying a house, and currently right now there are protests in the streets over the housing crisis in Portugal. So I'm going to see how that trip goes. And,
you say you might be back early, or you're just going to go to a different country?
And I am here in Gary, Indiana, where I wanted to make a short, but I thought it would demonetize my channel because there are these houses that have cameras and bars on the windows and a re-elect the mayor sign on the wall. So if you have to go to this level of your house next to the burned down house that's vacant and abandoned, and you want to re-elect the current regime, what do you think? That obviously as a short would not go over well.
Yeah.
And,
probably not.
No. So what's important to me is, so at the beginning of last year, I think we'd all admit, we actually had a bet going on. It wasn't, do you think a recession is coming or not? Is we bet which quarter do you think a recession will hit? And I was early. You guys were a little bit later in the year, and then it hit early, but it wasn't unemployment. It was just GDP. And so it doesn't really qualify. But going into a recession, I did what any logical person would do, is walk away from a 6-figure job.
You quit your job. That's how you got prepared.
So
I'm going to take it. I'm going to jump to the head of the line. I'm going to quit.
Right. So that's when it comes to this financial freedom piece. I want you to think about a couple of things that come from reaching financial freedom through real estate, and as opposed to any other avenue that's out there, like the YouTube gurus, Mike, you mentioned, that say start a business and write off everything you can. Use that K1 to even offset your earned income. With real estate, there's a couple of benefits. Here's one. The ACA Act, the Affordable Care Act for healthcare for everybody in the United States, is based on your income. And with write-offs and depreciation, I don't have any. When it comes to being bankable, if you run a business and you use all of your write-offs and you show no income, you are not bankable. But in real estate, if you use depreciation and write-offs to show no income, the lenders take out the depreciation, and magically you had no income. You have a lot of money in your bank, and we'll lend you more money, because the system is designed by people working in Congress that make laws that benefit people who own real estate, because most of them own real estate. And I just feel like the last, for me, decade, for you guys, couple of decades of choices we made to be in this position is the choices people watching can be making now, because the next 10 years are going to happen.
Yeah, they're going to happen.
Invest or not. And 10 years from now, you should really be looking back going, I'm glad I made those choices.
Yeah. I think the key to any recession, again, and I said this morning on the Daily Financial News, is do me a favor, folks, pick your thing. If you're an entrepreneur, make it your thing. If you're a stock person, make it your thing. If you're a crypto, make it your thing. If you're real estate, make it your thing. What does it make it your thing mean? Put all of your focus. This is not a time to be a hobbyist. Oh, I'm going to do stocks and real estate and crypto. No, pick your thing. This is the time to go deep. Why do I say that? Because it's the people who have intimate knowledge of what I call a buy box or your thing that will see around the corner, be able to see the deals before they're there, be able to create terms or seller financing or whatever it is. This is the time not to be a hobbyist. If you want to do real estate investing, it's time to how to get started one rental at a time. Join the Facebook group. Just go deep. Buy box, daily discipline. This is not a time to mess around. I'm done being nice. If you are interested, time to do the work. It's no longer cute to be, hey, I'm going to go buy some NFTs of a gorilla or whatever it is. This is the time to do your thing. Get committed, stop being a hobbyist, and go to work. Matt, where can people find you in closing thoughts?
Lumberjack Landlord on YouTube and Instagram. And my closing thoughts are the course is going fantastic. I love my students. They're working hard every day. I totally get why that got you going when you with your course, one rental at a time. I think it's just absolutely phenomenal watching people do the work daily and execute and watching the stuff that we've unfortunately paid the lessons to learn.
Yeah.
It feels better when it's actually used by somebody else to avoid it and make the money that they're doing. And
exactly.
And I'm super excited about Dion's course coming out.
Yeah. Dion, where can people find you in your closing thoughts?
You can find me right here on YouTube, Dion Talk Financial Freedom. You can also get free access to the Binder Strategy course at diontalk.com. My plan is to never charge for that because it actually helps tenants and owners. And my closing thoughts on the recession is don't time the market. Don't expect a recession. Plan. Always plan on a recession is about to happen. Right? So you're hunting for the next great deal that's going to cash flow. Diversify your assets. Plan on this being a really bad economic time and build a portfolio that will benefit from that. If it doesn't happen, it isn't going to hurt you. And if it does happen, you're going to be one of those few people that everybody talks about saying, the recession made you rich.
Yeah. Again, I can't tell you how many folks have come to me over the years saying I was lucky or, you know, something like that. And I'm like, yeah, 20 years of looking at my market every day. That's luck. Are you kidding me? Again, folks, I want to say it one more time. This is not the time to be a hobbyist. I don't care what your thing is. If it's stocks or cryptos or NFT or sports cards or vintage cars, I don't care. Go deep. This is the time. Thanks, everybody. Take care.